Hello, I'm Dom. I'm a startup guru. I help people go from idea to app. But in this video, the idea is one of mine and a friend of mine who's also a product manager. And I said to her, hey, why don't we build this thing? This is what we do. We build things. So here's our app, Matchfluencer, or Growing Brands Together. It takes e-commerce brands and the personal brands of influencers and brings them together for a mutually beneficial agreement so that both parties can reach their goals. In this video, I want to talk about target audience, or how do you find your potential users? I talk to a lot of people in this space at networking events. I'll talk to people who are building an app. I have my clients. I also talk to people who are just, working in some digital products, like an email newsletter or something. And they will ask questions like, oh, how do we find people? Will people use our thing? Will people be interested? How do we get more people in? How do we keep them here? And all this lot. When really there's actually a question right at the top level that needs answering first. And that is, who are we building for? Now, I've already made a video on this. So after you watch this one, go check that one out. It's great. It's like 8 minutes. But I just talk about this whole question of who are you building for. But in a nutshell, a lot of people answer this question by saying everyone. What they're thinking is, if in the funnel, at the top of the funnel, I have as many people as possible, then even if I have a small conversion at the bottom, that's still a lot of people. But there's a problem with this, and it doesn't work. That's it. It just doesn't work. The reason being that when you try and get everybody, your messaging, your marketing, your communications, your branding becomes incredibly generic, and it then sort of speaks to no one. You can see that all the time. You also end up in a position where you end up leaning on tactics and having no strategy in place for the whole thing. That's, again, a thing I see all the time, especially with my clients. In fact, a lot of the work I do is bringing that strategy piece in. And lastly, your implementation and resource ratio is way out of whack. So you're out trying to reach millions and millions of people, but your budget is like this. It's like you're never going to match those two things together. And this is why what you really want to do is focus on a persona. Now, how do you choose that? Well, you look at this Venn diagram, and what you want to pay attention to is who is easy to find, who is simple to convert, and who can we build quickly for and deliver value. And at that intersection is really the lowest of the low hanging fruit. And that's who your target audience is. That's who you want to go after. Now, in terms of our app, Matchfluencer, we actually have two personas because we've got e-commerce brands and influencers. So there's two personas. But coming back to this whole strategy piece, like there's no point sort of saying, do you know what, we're going to go after all of the e-commerce brands and all of the influencers, because how do we know that they're going to align, right? So we're going to specifically pick fashion. And this is because one of the biggest categories in e-commerce is fashion and apparel. And for content creation, fashion is massive. So let's get down to specifics, which is influencers who are involved in creating content around fashion, and get even more specific by looking at these other things that we want to hone in on. One, we want them to be in fashion, yeah. But secondly, we want them to be on YouTube. The reason being that we've got a good algorithm and a good search system on there. And there's already loads of people on there who have been doing it for a long time, unlike newer platforms who might have only just come on board. We want them to be up and coming, so sort of 1,000 to 50,000 subscribers. And they need to be time rich, but cash poor. Now, just to explain this term, right? When I say cash poor, I don't mean people in poverty, right? What I mean is if you have some aspiration and you have some goal and you're trying to reach it, does the financial aspect exist as a barrier to do it? So if I was like, oh, I want to pick up um, skiing as a hobby, right? But currently with my job, I can't afford to get the flights, stay in a chalet, get the equipment. Then I am cash poor relative to what I'm trying to achieve. And that's quite important to understand. Now, in some instances, you actually see that the other way around, where you might have people who are cash rich and time poor. So if you've got like a big high end job, you might be working 12 hours a day, then you come home, you've got the family to look after, you've got no time, but then you actually have a lot of cash. So when it's like dash rich or dash poor, it's talking about what acts as barriers, but what do people actually have access to? I just want to clear that a bit up. Now, finding people, yeah, it's easy. Just go on YouTube. You type in something in the search, something along the lines of Primark Haul 2024, or also I've been doing Zara, but also you can kind of do try on haul. Although there's a few very dubious videos when you search for that. I learned a lot about what's allowed on YouTube while doing this. But once you get that result, you can go onto their channel, go to their profile, and right there is their email. Right, once they meet that condition of the persona, then you can grab their email. And what do you do with it? Well, you email them and then you just say, this is a basic template, but essentially like, hey, I'm Dom. I build apps and I found your YouTube channel. I've been working a lot of e-commerce stores who are looking to grow their audience. Therefore, I think it's actually a really good idea that they may want to pair up with you. And that might be a good idea for an app. But right now, as well as I know e-commerce people, I really don't know influencers. So I do need to talk to somebody, and that's why I'm reaching out. Bit of compensation and a gift card. And then me and my co-founder Natalia will be able to bring you in and sort of give the allure something along the lines of, we might charge for something like this in the future, but for you, it'll always be free if you come and help us out on this journey. And that's it. Once you get people in, you are in user interviews, get chatting, do the things. That's what we're looking for. And I've just realized my thing is just my little window here has just suddenly changed. Oh well. But this is the stage we're in at the moment, right? We're reaching out to people trying to get those user interviews in. We haven't done any yet, but I'm emailing out and trying to get those things in. So yeah, hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll be able to make another video of what I've learned from those user interviews. And that's the video. So if you want to carry on following us on this journey, then click the subscribe button. I'll be making videos sort of periodically as I go through. And what I would love to have is sort of like this log of building this app from beginning to end. So that's a really good reference point for people who want to build their own products. If you want to find out more about me, you can go to chuff.solutions/Dom-Maurice. That's my sort of CV page, and you can find out more there. You can reach out to me there, especially if you're an influencer. Like, definitely reach out. But if you have any questions about the process and what I'm doing here, then by all means leave a comment. And that is me. Thank you for watching. Go check out the first question you need to ask when building an app. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.